Hi, this is Avari from Scrapintherapy, and today I'm going to create a painting here, and it's basically I'm going to put a doll with a balloon, and maybe I'll do a dog if I can. I don't know, we'll see what comes out. But I went ahead and prepped my surface with some gesso. So I had some leftover paint, and I used that for the background, and it was paint left over from this project. And I also use that paint to create some other panels here, as you can see here. For later on, I can create something and put it in an art journal. I probably what going to do with these is, as I paint them, I'm probably going to create a little booklet, bind it, and just put it in a little booklet, and that could be another little art journal. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm using just acrylic paint, Master Touch, not very high quality paint. I mean, it's good enough for what I want it to use for just an art journal, and it's just fun to use. Don't have to get really expensive paint if you're just practicing. Now, if you're going to sell your art, once you get very good at what you do, then it's a good idea to get good quality paint if you're selling your projects. But since I do it for pleasure and just it's for myself, it's personal use that I'm creating this project, then it's good enough to use these different acrylic paint. They're very economical. I got these, they were about $2, $3, and I just love using these. Even though it's, they're not that expensive, but I do like using it. The other thing I'm going to use is I'm going to use this brush. It's a Master Touch brush, number 9, but it's like a 3/4 inch angle brush. I also have this one, which is a 5 Master Touch. That's a 1/2 inch angle brush. And I also have this one, and this is a 3/4 inch, and also a little liner brush, a number 2 liner, and these are from Plaid. So I think that what I want to do is I just want to create a little bit more color here, and I'm just going to take it straight out of the paint tube and see how it really, because it's kind of transparent, it doesn't have a lot of pigment, you get a transparent look on here. And I can even take some color from this tube, mix it on my paintbrush, and create a more orange color. And I love how free this is. It's really very gratifying to just come to the craft room after a day's work and just play with my materials that I have. Just love it. Now, I hope your Valentines were good. My hubby surprised me with some jewelry from Premier Design, which I do like. A friend of mine is a consultant. She sells Premier Design jewelry. It's very nice. It's costume jewelry. It's not really, well, it is not cheap. It is jewelry that will last a lifetime, but it's not precious metals or anything like that. It's more costume jewelry, and it's beautiful. So my husband surprised me in Valentine with 2 beautiful long necklaces, and I really like that. And I hope your Valentine's was good as well. Mine was very good. Plus, one of my kids washed the dishes for me, so that's even a plus. So whenever you have somebody washing your dishes or giving you jewelry, I think that's a very nice Valentine. So I'm going to take some gesso, because I like the opacity of gesso. I like how opaque gesso is. I'm just going to put some in here so you can see what I'm doing. Just a little bit. Not too much. And make sure you wipe the edges off, because if you don't, then you won't be able to take the lid off. going to take, not even going to clean my brush, just going to put some of this here. And I think I want some more yellow. And another thing I can use for this, I'm going to put a little more gesso. I can use some glazy medium. It's kind of dry. If I want to have it be more like it glides. But look how pretty that's looking. It's really looking nice. Put a little more of this. And I'm doing it straight from the tube and mixing on the page itself. Taking some white, mixing there. And just back and forth. And at some point you're gonna have to just stop, even though you're having fun. So I think I'm gonna stop there. So I'm gonna go ahead and dry this, and so I don't bore you while I'm drying it, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video, and we'll be back when this is nice and dry. So I think it's nice and dry now. I want to go ahead and put a layer, maybe some blue, so that way I can match it a little bit with the next page. So I'm going to take some blue paint, just going to put a little bit there. I'm also going to use some glazy medium, just so that way my paint will glide on my page, and not a lot, just a little bit. Make sure your brush is nicely clean because you did use red. Now we're going to use blue. Well, I guess it will be okay. It will just mix together and create like a little purple, but it's just, I want to see a different effect. So I'm just going to put some of this here. And then I want to go ahead and put some darker paint. So this is Payne's Gray from Master's Touch. The other one was Ocean Green by Master Touch. I'm just going to put a little bit of that, mix it within here, put a little bit of white, and just mix it. And just want to kind of let some of the other color come through, and that's why I want to use the glazy medium, because it really makes it more transparent, and I'm liking that. I think I want to go ahead and let's put a little bit more here. And I know I cover all that other color up. It's just I wanted to make it that it matches a little bit my other one. So I think it will match a little better now. And I did leave some color over here peeking. So I think I'm going to leave it like that. So let me go ahead and dry this again, and then I shall be back. So now I'm ready to create my doll, and I think I'm going to start like in the halfway point. I'll start with her an oval shape. And maybe I should use, let me use like an Stabilo or something so that way you can see it. And actually this is not an Stabilo. I'll be back. Let me go and find my Stabilo. Okay, this is my Stabilo. And so now you should be able to see what I'm drawing. I'm drawing a little oval. And around this point, here's the shoulders. I think you can, let me see if I can bring you closer. Okay, here's the shoulder. And I'm using an inspiration piece on Pinterest to create my doll. And then right here, I'm going to start her bust line. And then the waist is going to curve in like so. And she's going to have a long dress. Long dress. And then usually your elbows is right in line where your waistline is. So I'm going to bring this up and then, down, and then go up around the waistline. She's going to be holding like an umbrella. Make a little fist. That's her arm. And then the other arm, we're just going to curve it down. Oops. Don't know if I can erase with Stabilo, but we can always fix that when we paint. So I'm going to bring it down. And her arms are going to go behind her. Let's see. And she's going to be holding a dog. Okay. And then there's a dog. So let's go ahead and put a little puppy here. That doesn't look like a nice little dog. Let's go ahead and redo that. I might just do a shape. In the drawing, there was a shape of some kind of animal. It didn't even look like a dog. It looked like some kind of sheep or something. So I think maybe it'd be easy for me to just do a sheep. How about that? Let's just do a sheep. So there. It's some kind of crazy sheep. That looked kind of wicked. It does look a little wicked. Let's just do. Oops. Obviously, I need to work on my shapes. I'll just do that. And then it's going to have some horns. It's a little goat, maybe. maybe she has a goat. And maybe a goat without eyes, because when I do the eyes, it looks like it's an evil goat. So we'll paint that in. And then they're going to have a little collar. And she's going to have a little leash. Okay. Then right here, she's going to have a balloon. She's holding a balloon. So we're going to do a heart. She's going to have a heart balloon. Okay. She's going to have a dress that's going to come down to the shoulder. And then she's going to have just long, wispy hair. Don't really like her hair, so I might end up fixing it a little better. Really simple eyes, and just a mouth. Very simple. And you know what? Don't like how the face is coming? So I'll just paint it in. She's just going to have no face like the Prima dolls that has no face. Now I know why Julie Nutting doesn't put face on her dolls. It's kind of hard. Well, I do have face stamps, so maybe I can try that. Okay. So that's what I have so far. If I can do it, you can do it. I think that's it. So now let's go ahead and I'm going to use my smaller brush. This is the 1/2 inch one. We bring back my colors. And we need to use some flesh tones. So I have this light pink portrait. So I'm going to use some of that. Okay. Use them. And we're going to cover her. We're probably going to need a couple of coats. And I think it would be best if I use a smaller brush. Let me go ahead and get a smaller brush. This is too big. No, too big. Here's a nice detail brush. Too wimpy. Hold on, let me see if I can get me an acrylic, nice, stiff, small brush. I'll be back. Okay, so I have a nice, stiff brush right here. This is the number 3. And yeah, it's going to work. You want to get your brushes that it will be nice and firm for your acrylic paint. The one that I pull, this one, this is more for watercolor. Look how flimsy it is. So it doesn't really, you have to get the good brushes. Or not the good brushes, but a brush that the stiffness. You have to just get the stiffness just right on your brush. Okay, and I want to do some green. Let me see if I have some nice green. Look at this green yellow. For the Valentine. I like that. Okay, and then I want to go ahead and, whoops, and rinse my brush. I want to go ahead and put some color here. And then my little animal is going to have some of this color as well. And then I'll go over again with some brown to give it shading. But I'm going to block them in with this color. Hide that little evil face that I did. Didn't like it at all. Okay, and now I'm going to go and get actually some orange. I really want orange, and I don't have, the colors that I have doesn't make good orange, because let me try. I want a nice bright orange, and I don't think I'm going to get bright orange with any of this color. So let me go get and see if I have a bright orange with another brand of paint, and I shall be back. Okay, I found this orange. This is by Folk Art. It's pure orange. Let's use some of that. Uh-oh. Sometimes these paints get old on me. So what I do, like that, it's separated. So you just get a skewer. I have these in my craft room. Mix it up. As long as it's still creamy, you're good. And then you can see it's kind of chunky, but that's okay. I'll show you how you're going to fix this. See how it's kind of chunky? Just mix it up. You know it's chunky. Put some on your palette. And I do this all the time. I use this paint even though it's all chunky and everything. You can use it. See, and then mix it. And I use glazy medium. See how it's kind of getting back to the consistency that it was before? You don't have to throw away that paint. The only time you throw away paint is it's completely dried. That's the only time that I throw paint away. Otherwise, I try to fix it. So now I have all this glob of paint. Just take a rag and wipe up your paint. And let's go back. Ooh, I like that orange. I might even put some yellow, little yellow on my orange in a second to really make it stand out. You know what will make it stand out? If I would have put white here. So let's put some white. That really makes my orange pop. So I'm using gesso. And the reason why I like gesso, because gesso is opaque and really covers, so I like using gesso. And she's going to have long sleeve on one side. I'm going to take my rag and just make a nice point so that way I can go down along this arm. So I'm going to let it dry and then come back and put another coat. that's what you have. You can use inexpensive paint. You don't have to use pro paint, but you got to understand that you have to put multiple coats. So let's go. Let me let it dry and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back and I'm going to go ahead and put a second coat on everything. Second coat here, and actually I'm going to use some white. And see how just putting a little white gesso makes your coat, your paint more opaque. And then while it's still wet, I'm going to take some burnt sienna. Just going to take a little bit. You don't need a lot of this paint, just burnt sienna. And I'm just going to kind of create a shadow. Put a little more shadow there. Clean this and then back with the green and just kind of go over it with the green. And let that dry. Then I'm going to go back with some of this flesh tone. And I'm wiping it off camera. You don't see me, but I am wiping my brush to make a nice sharp edge. See how that edge is nice and sharp? That's what helps you have a little more control and you can really get into where you need to get to in order to put your paint, and you won't go out the lines. Now, you notice that I'm not really completely within the line. So later on we're going to come back with Stabilo pen. Later on we're going to come back with the Stabilo pencil, and we are going to go back and redo the lines. Put too much there. Then you gotta make sure. Let's put some white, because I want to show this a little better, like so. And then our little buddy down here, we need to go over him again. Whatever animal this is. I think I'm going to call it a yak. Maybe it's a yak. Okay, so now I want to go ahead and go back over with my orange. See how the orange is really starting to pop now? And because I put gesso, you can really get a nice coverage. Now I'm using my pinky to stabilize my hand so that way I'm not shaking while I lay down the color. Okay. And actually, now that it's still kind of wet, take some yellow, just a little yellow, not too much. And I'll put some yellow, actually I'm going to put some yellow with white and go over her dress to really give it a nice contrast here. Okay, then we're going to leave it like that. Okay, let's go ahead and re-dry this, because pretty soon I'm going to go ahead and put some shadows, and I want to make sure that it's nice and dry, so I shall be back. So I'm back. Let me bring my paint over. I keep forgetting to take the paint out, and every time I turn on the blow dryer or the dryer, it just flows over there, the other side. So I'm cleaning my paintbrush, and now I want to start creating some shadows. So for that, I'm going to need my brown, maybe a little bit of this Payne's Gray. I'm going to clean my brush, make it a nice point, and then I'm just going to dab this shadow right on here. Then I'm going to go back with her color, her skin tone, and just blend it in. See how it blends? See how nice that looks? You're going to do the same thing around the neck area. So we need to define this area, this neck area. So I'm going to define it with this. Define her shoulder area. And then you're going to take your paintbrush. I'm wiping it off. Now I'm going to take some skin tone and blend that in. See how it blends in? And then I want to put some more dark underneath her chin, because we want to make sure that we outlined her chin area. Okay. And I see some, you can tell where the shadow begins and ends. We want to go ahead and blend that, so take some more of your skin color and blend it in. It's almost like dry brushing. Okay, so we want to put some skin shadow, some shadow around her shoulder here. I think that will look good. And underneath her armpit, around this area, bring in some shadow. On her arm area here, bring in some shadow. Now I'm going to take some skin tone and blend that in. Until, and you just blend, keep blending until you're happy with the results. And I think I want to put some more, because I kind of like blend it out too much. And I'm just wiping the excess, so it's less color, less paint. And I think I want to blend some here, because I want to make an outline around her dress area. So I'm using the chisel edge of my paintbrush. I'm going around her chest area and then pulling up like so. You kind of like how beautiful that looks. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I just have a little bit on my brush and just blending it down. I want to blend some more around this area too. Okay. Let me go ahead and go back here a little more. I think I blended too much. Okay. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to pretend the light is coming from the right. So I want to go ahead and put some highlights around her dress. So I'm going to take some orange this time. I'm going to make a darker orange with my brown. And we're just going to blend it on the edges here. And just blend this color in. So you can see I'm taking my brown and a little bit of orange and just kind of dry brushing it in. And then we're going to go on the edge here and dry brush some of that in. And then if you lose some of your orange, you can always come back with a little bit of orange and just put it back in. That's a beauty with acrylic paint. You can keep layering until you're satisfied with the results. With watercolor, sometimes it's a little harder to do it, to kind of really put in layers. But you can do it. I've seen artists put layers upon layers on watercolor, and it looks fabulous. Just, I have a hard time doing it. So I'm wiping off the color, and then I'm going with my orange, coming back with orange and kind of blending that in. Coming back with a little bit of gesso, blending that in with gesso. More gesso. Okay, so I want to go ahead and put a little outline on the side here too. And you can even use your fingers if you want to blend. Go back with a little bit of orange and blend that in. And just blend it in. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take this, whatever this is, this animal, and we're going to blend some highlights for this animal. So I'm going to take some cream color and then I'm going to put it on and blend the highlights in. See how it blends? Maybe let's put some black or grease paint. Cleaning out my brush, and then I'm going ahead and blend that in. I just felt they needed a little more contrast. And maybe I'll put a little bit of Payne's Gray right on the top of his head. Maybe that's his hair. Some kind of hair piece like that. And then I think I'm going to go ahead, create the horns. And then I'm going to go ahead and go over the leash. And I think I'm going to give her black hair. So let's just give her black hair. And her hair is being blown by the wind. Okay, so now let's see what else we need. Oh, we definitely need, let me rinse my brush. The problem with this picture is I lost my line for my balloon. And the way to get that is to go ahead and bring some white in. And so you want to go ahead and bring some white in. And that's going to help create that line again for your balloon. Like so. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing for here, for my leash. And I'm going to do the same thing for my ears here, or horns. Don't know what these are. Horns or ears? Maybe he is a cow or a sheep. Yeah, I'll tell you a sheep. And I think I want to put some whites in some of these areas. Like here. Just dry brushing some white. Maybe gonna put some white. Actually, let's go ahead and put some. Maybe that wasn't the smartest thing to do. But again, if you make a mistake like that, you always get your rag as long as it's dry, and you can clean it. See, you made a mistake. That's why you take your time to dry layers, because then you can always fix it and then come back. I think I'm going to put a little more brown. I just want this to be a little more darker on that side. And of course you got to go back with your yellow to blend it in, or your orange. What am I talking about? Your green, to blend it in. And see how it blends. See how that really looks nice. I like how that blended into my my heart. And I think I want to do the same a little over here too. So let's do that here. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to take a little green, little white, and blend that in. Okay, let's see what else it needs. I didn't like this too much, so let's go ahead go back. That's a good thing about acrylics. If you don't like something you make, just go back and fix it. Go back. So I just wanted to make this a little darker. Just dry brushing in. Okay, I think I'm good with what I have, so I'm going to go ahead and dry it, and then we should be back and do the final touches to this. Okay, so now I got my Stabilo, and I'm just going to go over and really define the edges here. And that's a good thing about Stabilo pens, or pencils, not pens. You can go over acrylic. It goes over anything. So I love Stabilos. And I think I want to go ahead and give it some lines on the waist. I like that. I'm defining the edges of my painting. Okay. And see how that made a difference? At least I like how it looks. Then I can take, see how, let's look at this heart. It's not really well defined until you go over it with your Stabilo. Now I like it better. Okay, and then we can even kind of give it a little more dimension and a little more roundness. Okay. We're going to give a little more strength to this, to the balloon string. And now my little, whatever this is, needs a collar. And I need to outline them a little better. And this horn needs to be outlined. Oh, forgot my hand. Okay, so there is that. So I need a saying. I think I like this there. So this saying is from Proverbs 2:8, chapter 2:8. It says, "He guards the path of the just and protects those who are faithful to him." So I might just use my color, my acrylic paint, use it all up, and paint this. So let's go ahead and do that. Since this is transparent, I'm just going to use the yellow just to go around this area here. Now this is the time that you do want your paint to be transparent. Right in here. Okay, I'm going to take some green, put some green on here, green on there, take some green, put it on here. Just going to put some color so it matches my background. So now I need to put some, let me clean this. We need to put some blue somewhere. So let's put some blue. Oops, that was too much water. Hold on. Let's make sure our brush don't have water. Let's put some blue around here. I'm going to put some blue, make some darker blue around this area here. That's too dark. A little dark here. I don't know about you. I like a lot of these coloring books. It's just I don't have time to do all that. It's too many details, really. I like the look of the coloring books, but I don't like taking the time to really go into all the nook and crannies of a coloring book. It's just too much work. Too much work. So I like looking at them and then I just go buy them. I don't buy this. Now this is because I like for cards. You can even don't have to paint it. You can just use it straight as is. So that's why I bought this, but it's just painting it. See how I'm not even going in there and really painting how I should paint it. I should be taking my time and really going through each and every flower and paint it with a coloring pencil. Nah, don't want to do that. I just want to give it a little color. And let's see. My mother-in-law, she really likes these coloring books. She has quite a few. But yet, that she spends most of her time in front of a TV and coloring her coloring books. Which works for her. I can't do that. It's too much. I got too much stuff to do. I gotta make sure I get rid of the water. I should do some brown. Just because we got it. You know what? We should use some red. I haven't put out some red, but I am going to go ahead for some of my flowers. I need some of this red. We do have red in the painting. I think I'm making a mess, but that's okay. Let's put another little bit of red down here. Oh, I should have put a red there. Oops. See, I'm just slinging water all over the place. Let's put a red right here. Actually, with the water, it made it like watercolor. Okay. And let's go ahead and maybe insert some yellow in this one. Insert some orange with yellow in this one. Insert some blue in this one. Let's do that again. Insert some blue in this one. Let's do some green in here. Green in here. Let's do some green in here. I'm already getting tired of this painting. I can paint for hours on my in my art journal, creating my mixed media dolls, putting sayings and all that stuff. I just can't do these things. I just want to get done quickly. Okay, so there's that. Let me put these paint aside. And don't throw away that paint. Just use it for another book, another page in your art journal. And you know what has occurred to me right now? That I may want to frame this. Oops. Uh-oh. There. I may want to put a nice little gold frame around this. And let me show you what I got to frame this. So I'll be back. Okay, I got this Prima frame stamp on Amazon. It was pretty economical. It was actually an add-on from Iron Orchid. So I like these. So I'm going to use this one to create a frame to just put it on there. Look how pretty that will look. So I'm going to go ahead and use gold embossing powder as well. So I'm going to use this copper and then this antique gold, and we'll see how that looks. And actually I should use gold, so let me go get the gold one instead of, well, I never used the copper, so let's do the copper. Let's go ahead and use the copper since I have it here. And if I was not going to use embossing powder, then I would use my stamping tool to stamp it. But since I'm going to use embossing powder, it doesn't matter. Because even if I don't get a good, you know, really dark impression, once I dump this powder, it's going to work very well. And something that I always forget is to use my anti-static little brush, or something that I always forget is to use the anti-static appliance that I have. It's actually this. Let's see where I put it. I bought it a long time ago in Stampin' Up, and it's the Embossing Buddy. And what it does, it removes any oils from the cardstock from your hand, so that way your embossing powder does not stick to where there's any grease or any oils from your hands, or you know, anything, or anything sticky, especially if you're using glue. It really helps to put that, because it will kind of negate the glue. I should use it. I always forget to use it. I don't know why. It's just, it's over there. It's not very close by to where I am, so that's why. So let me go ahead and plug in my embossing tool. Now I'm going to go ahead and get some dies to cut this out. Okay, I got my Cuttlebug, and then I got the Spellbinder A card creator kit. So I used the 3rd and 4th size of the Spellbinder card creator dies. I'll put the link of those. And I'm using an A plate, my magnetic plate by Cuttlebug. So it's a little magnet plate that you put on top of the A plate. Then you put your B plate on there. I'm going to go ahead and put my my frame. Hopefully it will cut. And then I'm going to go ahead and try to get it just right. Then use my second frame. Try to get it just right. I wonder if it's going to cut it. I think it's going to cut it. So let me try this is the B. So I have the A and the B. So let's just try cutting one first, and then I'll come back and cut the second one. Yeah, because I didn't see, let's see. There's not a size, perfect size. Oh, look at that one. But then I might not be able to read what I need to read. How about this one? Let's look at this one. It's going to cut right in the emboss, and I don't want to cut all my lovely emboss, so this is the one I'm going to use. And I can always use my brother's scan and cut, but I don't want to use it. I just want to use this. So let's run this through. I think it's going to be fine. Hopefully it will be fine. We'll see what happens. And see, it doesn't cut. I might end up just cutting it by hand a little more. I want it closer. Too bad it doesn't, I don't have a die that it's just same size. That would have been just fabulous if it was the case. But now let's go ahead and see if I can cut the inner part. Too small. I think that will work. Let's try using that one. Okay, I think we're going to leave it as is. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead and put this on here like so. And see, I think it needs some outline. So, I don't know if I have a gold pen. I used to until my kids started using my stuff and things disappear. If you're wondering, this is an acrylic pen that I created myself using acrylic ink and buying these little pen things. And then I'm going to go inside. Okay, and see how that will just pop it. I'm going to throw that away. let's go ahead and put some glue on there. Okay. And let's frame this out. It gives me some time to play with it so I can get the frame just right. And actually, you know what? I should do the same thing on this. And we're going to place that there. Look how I like it. It's going to look nice. So let's go ahead and put some glue on here. This is very thick cardstock, so that's why I have to put a lot of glue. I did the same thing on this other side, and I had to put a lot of glue so it will stay. Okay, and I think what I would like to do is I may put a little glitter sparkle on her dress, sparkle on her balloon. Let's put some sparkle stuff. But first I got to make sure this stays down. I don't want it coming up. Oops. Almost damaged that brush. Didn't put it in water. Okay. So let's go ahead and put some sparkle. Here's some sparkle that I created with gel medium and a little glitter. And it will also make it glossy. And maybe I need some sparkle on her dress. And because I used Stabilo, it's going to react a little bit. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. You see how it's lifting up? So you got to coerce it to stay down. Close this. Now I'll put some sparkle on his hair. Sparkly hair. Crazy hair. So I think I'm done with this page. I really like how this page came out. It actually matches the other page. The color scheme matches the other page, so I really like how it came out, and it just mixed together. I love her orange I like the balloon. My little animal, we'll figure out what that is. So put in the comment what you think this animal is. I don't know what it is. I just made a form and color it in. So go ahead and comment and tell me, what do you think the animal is? To me, it's a sheep. It looks like a sheep. May not be. Don't know. So I hope you like it, and give me a thumbs up if you want to see more videos like this. And thank you for watching. Bye now.